Hello and very good evening, everyone. My name is Akriti. How are you all? I hope you're doing well. Now, so let's start with today's question. This is going to be our today's question. This is the lead code question number 1829. Maximum XOR for each query, right? So, in this question, basically, we are given a sorted array of n elements where it contains non-negative integers, right? And again we are given a integer maximum bit which is representing how many maximum bits we can have, right? So we want to perform the n queries, and in each query we are just giving two operation. In one operation I have to just find the value of k such that k should always be less than 2 keep our maximum bit, and the XOR of all the elements of array and XOR of k should be maximized, right? And after doing this operation, we have to remove the last element from the array, and just we keep on repeating those operations for each and every query, right? Now, in the answer, we have to return the value of k for each query. So in this example, we are given here, the nums is 0, 1, 1 and 3. This is the array we are giving with, and the maximum bits are 2. Yeah, so as mentioned in the question, the maximum value of k we can have is 2 keep our maximum bit, right? So here the maximum value of k we can have is 4 because 2 keep our 2 is going to be 4, right? So maximum value of k here is 4. Now, for each query. So let's talk about the last query because as I have said, after each query, we will be removing the last element from the array, right? So when we reach the last query, we will have only one element in our array. So for the last query, there will be only one element. For the second last query, I will be having only 0 and 1 in my array. For the third last query, I will be having only 0, 1, 1 in my array and all, right? So let's understand this. Now, suppose if you are giving n number of bits, here I am talking about the maximum bit integer which I was given in the question. So, if the maximum number of bit is n, so yeah, if n equal to 1, then the maximum value of k what I can have is 1, right? If n equal to, we can have the maximum value of k what I can make out of these many bits will be 1, 1, right? And again, if n equal 3, the maximum value we can make out of these bits will be 1, 1, 1, right? So in this way, I'm just finding the k max, which is the maximum value of k possible with these many bits, right? So this is the k max value for each n. Now, what actually query means? So as I have told you, let's talk about the query n minus 1. So if we are at the last query, which is query n minus 1, then I will have only one element in array, which is array of 0. And I have to take the XOR of this particular element with the k, and then I have to choose my case such that the XOR of these two elements should be maximized, right? Now again, let's talk about the next query, which is query number n minus 2. So if I will talk about the query number n minus 2, I will have only two element in my array because the previous element I have already removed in the previous queries, right? As mentioned in the question. So if I'm talking about the n minus 2 query, I will have two element. I will take the XOR of the elements in the array, then I will take the XOR of the result with the k, and I have to choose my key such that this particular XOR should be maximized, right? So now let's think how we are going to maximize the XOR, right? So let's look at the constraint of the question first. As here you can see the maximum bit is going to be less than 20, and yeah, the nums of I will always be less than to keep our maximum bit, right? So as I have told you, this is the maximum value of k possible, this minus 1, right? So this is the maximum value of k possible. So we are sure that the every element of array will always be less than k max, right? This you can understand with the help of the constraint given below. So I can say if I'm taking the XOR of all the element of array, the maximum will always be my k max because k max is the highest possible value of elements of array, right? So here as they are saying that we have to choose our case such that we can get the maximum XOR. So now I'm clear with this that the maximum XOR that I can get is k max, right? Because suppose you have all the array element which are strictly less than k max, and you have to take the XOR of all those elements with a particular value of k which you can choose by yourself, right? So I can choose my case such that I can get the value k max as my answer because k max is the maximum possible value I can get, right? So I will always consider that the maximum XOR possible after doing these many operations is going to be Kmax, right? So we will calculate our Kmax. My Kmax will always be equal to 2 power max bit minus 1, right? This is my Kmax. Now, let's understand one more thing. Suppose this is the property of the XOR. Suppose if you are taking the A XOR B equal to C and you are getting the result as C, then I can write simply as the value of A equal to C XOR B or value of B equals C XOR A, right? So this is like you can transfer from here to here. Okay. So this is the property of the XOR and this is something we're going to use here also. So now, as I have told you, let us say for each query, we are doing the XOR of all the elements which are remaining at that particular query in my array, right? So let's suppose the XOR of all these elements, right? Like, let me write it here. Suppose X be the XOR of array of 0, XOR array of 1, XOR array of 2, up till let's suppose array of some element say j, right? So let's suppose at the ith query I'm talking about, let's suppose this is the ith query and I have these many elements in my array which I'm left with, right? So I'm just supposing that the XOR of all these elements is going to be x for now. Now let's say this is x. Okay, so now according to the question, what I had to do something like x XOR k should be maximum, right? Now I'm saying the maximum value of k after performing XOR any number of times, you will just get k max only, because more than k max you cannot get, right? So this is k max. The maximum value of k is k max. Okay. Now our task is to find the value of k, right? Because we have x, we have k max, as I have already calculated k max here, and x we will be calculating by taking XOR of elements of the array, right? So our task is to calculate k here. Now how can we calculate k? K is going to be k max XOR x. As I have told you, this is the property of the XOR. So I'm using this particular property. So my k is going to be k max XOR x, right? So this way we will be calculating Kmax for each and every query. Now let's go with the logic we have discussed here. So let's suppose n be the size of my array, right? N is the size of my array. I will make a vector of answer where I will be storing the k value corresponding to every query. So this is my answer, which is also going to be of size n. Now let's calculate our Kmax. So my Kmax is going to be, 2 key power max bit minus 1. So how can we write 2 key power something in bits, right? So this is like 2 key power something. It's like we are just left shifting something, right? So if you want to get the 2 key power, 2 key power n, then you can just left shift my 1 by n. So I can simply write 1 left shift to keep our maximum bit and minus 1. So this is my to keep our k max, to keep our max bit minus 1. This is my k max, and now I will just start with each query. My queries are like total number of n queries I have. Now I will take the XOR. Let me make this vector, make this variable here. My XOR will be, containing the XOR of elements of the array which we are left with at particular query. So basically I'm starting from the last query, because as I have told you, in the last query I will have one element and in the second last I will have two elements and so on. So we are starting from the last query so that we can just keep track of the XOR of elements, right? XOR of element of the array. Okay. So my XOR will be array of 5. Now as I was talking about the last query, so my answer of n minus I minus 1, right, is going to be um, XOR Kmax. This XOR is something we were taking as x here. So this is my x. Okay. So if I want to find the value of k, which is going to be stored in my answer at that particular query, this is going to be Kmax XOR x, or you can simply write x XOR Kmax, right? Both are similar. And and I am going to return my answer letter. Let's run it and see if it's working or not. I've defined the int variable. Okay. Nums it was. Let's change it to array because we have been using array in the entire code. So yeah. So yeah, I guess it's working fine. So yeah guys, we are done with the question. So this was the entire solution. I hope you get it well. So the main thing which we have used here is that we look at the constraint and we find out that the maximum XOR we can get after taking the XOR of all the elements of array and k is going to be k max, right? Because all the elements of array are strictly less than k max. So yeah, we can say that if you can handle the each if you can handle the value of k, or if you can choose the value of k by yourself, then you will choose the value of k such that you can get XOR as max as possible. So the max possible is k max. So we are just adjusting the value of k such that we can get the k max as the XOR answer, and accordingly I have to find the value of k for a particular query. So this was the easiest solution I can explain you for this question. So yeah, I hope you got the solution. Even after all this, if you have any query or doubt related to the question on the operation we have used in the question, you can simply ask in comment box. I will resolve your doubt. Thank you and have a nice day.